Howdy. I'm Infinity Solstice, bright wizard of destiny, at your service. Welcome to the gallery at Go Organic Sports Ranch. Beside me I have a silkscreen image created by my friend and artist Man-Woman. It's called Holy Cow. In this story, I call it Back to the Land and the Big Cow. The cow I'm talking about it's a Holstein, looks exactly like that one. Well, close anyway. So, here we go. I'm beginning to see that an autobiography is somehow like patting yourself on the back, to the point of bruising, or cat o' nine tails bleeding. No, it's not that bad. 47 years ago, I left the big city in fear there was going to be a nuclear war, and I didn't like the air either. Cold War was raging, getting ready for a zillion hot wars that were just around the corner. So I left Vancouver, left Mom, Dad, my sister, my brother, the whole shebang, back to the land. Way back, 800 kilometers deep in the heart of the Rockies, just south of Golden, BC, to a little place called Parson. It was in the days of communes, hippies, pot, U.S. draft dodgers, gardens, herbs, log cabins, the works. My girl and I bought the whole ball of wax. The Back to the Land movement. And don't get me wrong, it is and was a great time. In fact, extremely high times. Communes are great in principle until someone eats all the oranges you had just bought. Now, when you're looking forward to something and zip, it's gone, well, I was choked to say the least. So these friends had moved in with us, Steve and Melba, with their new kid. Without a word of a lie, the kid's name was Walkin' Slow. Now I'm not talking about a goat kid, but a real live one, a child, Walkin' Slow. After the orange incident, they didn't hang around long. I was quietly happy. And I wonder how Walkin' Slow is doing at this moment. If he was raised on goat meat and milk, I'm sure he's doing fine. It wasn't long after the goat family left that we bought a milk cow, Ukiah. She had this nice set of horns, quite similar to the ones in the silkscreen here, that you could put a rope around and then lead her to wherever you needed to take her. Well, the first day we got her, I tied her to a tree in front of the cabin Rhonda and I had built. So the next morning I step outside and am greeted by a dead cow, lying on her back with 4 legs straight up in the air. Of course, I started cursing and sweating and freaking out. I ran down to her. She looked real dead. Her eyes were bugging out. I couldn't tell if she was breathing, so I gave her a little kick. She blinks. She's alive. Yay. Wow, good. Ukiah had slid down the hill in front of the little cabin to lie down, and she'd reached the end of her rope, so to speak, and ended up on her back. The rope around her horns was so tight you could pluck it like a guitar. It was an F note, maybe it was a G. To free her, I had to cut the rope. And just as I'm about to cut it, a friend drives up the driveway and gets to witness the whole thing. You can't keep anything to yourself. Big Ukiah. But I digress. We had moved to the Columbia Valley, arriving on the train. The passenger train that no longer passes through Golden. That is a small tragedy. And we were picked up by Rhonda's TA, teaching assistant from UBC, where we had come up to take care of his place and land while he went down to California to see his mother. He drove us on a scenic route up Campbell Road and stopped at a lookout. And there we viewed the magnificent Columbia Valley and the Purcell Mountains. It was at that moment I said to myself, "Bye, Mom. This is too beautiful. I'm staying." And as I've said, 47 years later, I'm still here. We arrived at his place. That's what you call your land back in those days, your place. It was late April. There was still snow all over the place. I couldn't believe it, coming from the rainforests of West Vancouver. But the weather was warm. In fact, I tried to go cross-country skiing in it, and the snow just agglutinated to the bottom of my skis. It was the first time that I'd ever skied, thinking, this is stupid. How could people like this sport, dragging 20 pounds of wet snow around underfoot and calling that fun? I've since learned a lot about skiing, and I've come to really love the sport. The TA's name was Phil, and he had a wife, a kid, he had a friend. They were also staying at his place, and the friend had a friend. And so we're talking a small commune. I can't remember where we slept. Oh yeah, on the living room floor. So we had quite a few people living in this small cabin, house, place. But getting back to the snow. Now it's May, and it's time to garden. So we have to break up the ice and snow from the garden spot because the ground is still covered. Now it's almost summer and it's really hot out. So we have to break the snow to get on with putting the garden in. I've got my shirt off and I'm sweating and I'm standing in snow. I just couldn't believe it. In fact, I still can't believe it. The winter of '72 just happens to have the heaviest snowpack in forever. It was the year the Fraser River flooded and the Fraser River Valley on the coast. I had no idea. I thought that was just normal around here. The melt was so intense that water was running everywhere. Finally the earth appeared and the garden went in, and we continue to garden in a big way to this day. Don't have any cows, but I got lots of goats. Peace and love.